So today, you guys, we have an 8th grade student giving chapel, and I love this 8th grade student. This is Elsa Gilbert's chapel, and Elsa has been with us since kindergarten. She started her years with Mrs. Oakes. Many of you had Mrs. Oakes, I know, back in their kindergarten year. So some things about Elsa. Elsa, you ready for hearing lovely things about you? Okay. She's a lovely student and person, always smiling. Are you smiling? Yep, she's smiling right now. So I don't know if any of you have ever seen a field hockey game or a lacrosse game here, but Elsa is just fast and furious on the field. She is just this bundle of energy, just out there, aggressive, playing her heart out. She's a great player. And last year, she received the Coaches Award for lacrosse, so she's an excellent player in both of those sports. She's been in all the musicals during her time at Montgomery, and I know she's practicing in Footloose right now. Great sense of humor. I've always loved that with Elsa. She and I have joked around for years, and I've always enjoyed that about her. So some things from your lower school teachers, Elsa. She's a hard worker, always put forth her best effort in all she does, and I know middle school teachers would echo that that continues in middle school. Always wants to please her teachers. Sweet and friendly always. Mrs. Knaus definitely remembered that when she had this group, right, Mrs. Knaus? You had the whole 8th grade now and one first grade class. It was much smaller then, but they were all together. Positive role model for her classmates. That's always been the case for Elsa, and just a good attitude about school. I asked your brothers this morning. So Spencer is here from Westtown. Hi, Spencer. And Perry, of course, in 5th grade. So they added, I think this is so nice when siblings have nice things to say about their siblings. So they said that she's helpful, kind, and smart. Isn't that nice to hear that your brothers think of that about you? And Reese, where's Reese Collingwood? Reese, who is this girl over here? She's your big buddy, right? Yeah, and that's real special too. So shall we welcome Miss Elsa Gilbert to the stage, guys? Big round of applause. Woo!
Hello, my name is Elsa Gilbert, and before I get started, I'm going to give you 3 clues to what my chapel topic is. And if you think you know what it is, raise your hand. The first clue is that my chapel topic is a winter sport that requires goggles. The second clue is that there are many types of this sport, such as freestyle, cross-country, backcountry, telemark, and downhill. The last clue is that the view around you is beautiful and the weather is normally cold. Can anyone guess what my chapel topic is? Yes. Today I will be talking to you about the lessons I have learned from skiing. Who here has ever skied before? My family does downhill skiing. My father began skiing in his 20s, and he's a really good skier. He learned to ski in New York on Whiteface and Gore Mountain. He skied on ice and not always perfect powdery snow. My mom skis too, but she's not as skilled as my dad. They looked forward to the day when they could introduce the sport to the family. I love skiing because it's something that I can do with my family. There are greens, which are the easiest level hills, then there are blues, the middle level, and black diamonds, which are the hardest to ski. The blacks can go from black to double black to triple black diamonds. The video behind me shows me skiing when I was the age of 9 at Bear Creek, and the second video is when I'm the age of 12 in Jackson Hole. These videos show my progress over the years. I was introduced to skiing at the age of 4. I went on the magic carpet at Bear Creek, which is a conveyor belt surface lift, like the ones found in airport terminals. They're usually found on nursery slopes to help beginner skiers up the slope. In ski schools, they teach you many terms. An example is pizza. A pizza is when your skis are formed directly towards each other, making an upside-down V. When I was younger, the pizza method was how I was taught to ski. I was told I needed to learn to balance before getting into the real way of skiing. As I was getting better with balance, I was told by my instructor that it was time to ski with parallel skis, which the term for that is French fries. In skiing, there are many terms such as pow-pow, which is light, dry, fluffy snow, normally referred to as powder. Another example is a wipeout, a painful fall. Quiz time. I'm going to give you a quiz on a couple of ski terms also known as ski lingo. What do you think yard sale means when referred to skiing? Yes, close enough. It's when your skis fall off and your poles fly out and you look like everything is out for sale. Next question. What do you think snow cookies means? Good guess. But the actual answer is they are cookie-sized chunks of ice that are created by the snowcat's grooming process. A snowcat is a tool that is used to groom the snow to make the slopes nice and smooth. They are normally only used at night when the mountain is closed. I was put into ski school at Bear Creek, and I skied on the mountain with my little ski group, and we would ski up to 30 minutes and then take a hot chocolate and restroom break. I loved ski school when I was younger because I would make new friends, and I would also get free hot chocolate. After our short break, we would go back out to ski for a little longer. At the end of ski school, my parents would pick me up, and we would go on 1 or 2 ski runs before going back to the resort. As I got older and more advanced, I would be moved up groups and get to ski with the older kids. During my last 2 years of ski school, I was assigned to be in the same group as my older brother, Spencer, and we would get to ski together during the day. I have been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Copper Mountain, Colorado, Bear Creek, Colorado, Killington, Vermont, Smuggler's Notch, Vermont, Bear Creek, and Elk Mountain in the Poconos. We've gone to Jackson Hole at least 5 times, and each time it was a new experience. The ski school in Jackson is called the Kids Ranch, and all the levels of skiing are named after the types of animals that you can encounter. When I first skied at Jackson, I was put into the group Elk, which was level 5, so I could improve my skills. After Elk, I went up to Bison, Cougar, and then Wolf. The last level is Eagle, but this past year I've proved to my parents that I can ski well enough, and so I don't need any more assistance. We stayed in the resort at Jackson Hole, and every time we went there were ice sculptures or ice castles that you could walk through. We would spend a lot of time playing tag or trying to skate on the ice by the sculptures. At Jackson Hole, they also have a tram which goes up to the top of the mountain, also known as the summit. The first time I went up there was in 2016 at the age of 9. I was nervous, but I knew my parents wouldn't have brought me up there if I wasn't ready. I was on the top of the mountain, ready to ski down. At first, it was hard and scary, but as I am older now, I beat my dad and all of his friends down the mountain within a couple of minutes. When my family and I went to Smuggler's Notch, Vermont, it was below 0 degrees, and it was so cold that we did not ski as much as we liked. Depending on the weather, you should wear wool socks and then the proper size ski boots. Long underwear is important. It's a 2-piece underwear with long legs and long sleeves that are normally worn during colder weather. Layered on top of that, you wear your ski pants, and for your upper body, you wear a vest or a fleece depending on the weather, and then a thick winter jacket. On your head, you should wear a neck gaiter, and on top of that, you have helmet with the goggles. Even with all the gear, it was too cold, so instead we watched the new movie Jumanji. The conditions in skiing vary from either sunny or weather with fog or snow where it's challenging to see. A whiteout is when visibility drops to almost nothing, caused by a heavy snowfall, fog, or a combination of the two. On these days, you should head to the trees to be able to see better. My brothers and I all enjoy skiing. It is where we go on a narrow path. We all enjoy tree skiing. It's where we go on a narrow path that was created earlier that day. Going into the trees is fun because there are little bumps that you can ski on. And sometimes when you're coming out of the trees, there's a small jump, and so then you get air. The trees get harder when you go on them on steeper hills. One time I went into the trees when there was still fresh snow on the ground, and it was so hard to ski, I fell down and it was difficult to get up. My skis were stuck underneath the heavy snow. My parents always get nervous when we go into the trees because when we come out the other end, My parents always get nervous when we go into the trees, but when we come out the other end, they both feel a lot of relief. A lesson that I've learned from skiing is that it's okay to make mistakes. No matter what skill level you are, you're always going to make a mistake. When referring to skiing, you are always going to fall, whether it's on a traverse, moguls, or skiing off a rock. Everyone can lose balance, even if they're a pro skier. As a skier, I have fallen many times, and each time it wouldn't hurt. It would just be scary. I've always loved skiing in the trees, but it's very risky because you can hit a covered stump and go rolling. When I was younger, my ski school instructor always told me, if you're not falling, you're not learning. This would remind me that I was not bad at skiing and that falling was just part of the skiing experience. It's okay to make mistakes. You can make a mistake on a test, an art project, or missing the winning goal in a soccer game. No matter what you do, as long as everybody knows that it's okay to make a mistake, nobody will get judged for it, and everybody should have each other's backs. Another lesson that I have gained from skiing is perseverance. Perseverance is doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. But to me, a simpler definition is when something gets difficult, you keep trying until you reach success. A time when I needed to use perseverance was when I was skiing down a trail in the Poconos on Elk Mountain. I was about 6 years old and I was getting better at skiing, but I still was no expert. I needed to make a right turn to stay on the trail, but instead, I skied straight under an orange barrier fence and quickly found myself hanging, which felt like a cliff. My parents were skiing behind me and stopped to help me. My skis were tangled in the barrier fence, and it took a lot of energy to get me up. While my parents were trying to save me, another girl around my age fell right into me and was in trouble too. My parents helped us to our feet, and then we put our skis back on and skied down the mountain. I learned to be sure to make that right turn. Another time when I used perseverance in skiing was when I was at Bear Creek, and I was about 7 years old. I went to get on the ski lift, which was hard for me at the time because I was so short that all my weight at my feet made it hard for me to jump up. I did not get on fast enough, but my hands were on the bar. The lift is continuously moving, and I was only holding on to the bar, hanging a couple feet off the ground. Then they stopped the lift, and I let go and fell in the snow. When I was hanging on the bar, I was scared and wanted to go inside and stop skiing for a bit, but the people around me told me it was okay and helped me back on the lift. Each time I would get on the lift, my dad would help me up, and that would boost my self-confidence. I would keep trying even though I was scared. And each time I would get better, and eventually I was tall enough to get on the lift by myself. You don't just use perseverance in skiing. It applies to everything, including school. For example, the kindergartners might have to use it when they're trying to learn to count. The first graders persevere when they get challenging homework. Second grade when they learn to write paragraphs. Fourth grade when they practice multiplication and long division. And fifth grade when you're working on a big project. You need to always persevere and never give up because nothing is impossible. The last lesson that I've learned from skiing is big leaps happen by adding lots of tiny steps over a long period of time. When skiing, if you think you can get all the gear you need and step into your skis and be able to ski down a slope without falling, you are making a mistake. Skiing is a process, and you can't skip over it. Whatever it is you want to do that to the best of your ability right now. Getting good at skiing takes time, and I know that is a fact. When I was younger, I wanted to step into my boots, ground my poles, and go, but it's not as easy as that. I needed to start on the green, smaller slopes and work myself up to the blues and blacks. After many years of skiing, I have improved greatly, and now when I look at Bear Creek compared to Jackson Hole, I have no problem with the slopes at Bear Creek because I feel like the greens in Jackson Hole. Skiing is not just about going down a hill. It's also about the nature and enjoying the beautiful scenery around you. If you've never thought about learning to ski, I would recommend that you give it a try. You would first start with ski school, which will help you get balance and coordination. Then later, you will learn to ski like a pro. Although skiing is good exercise and a lot of fun, you also get an excuse to drink a lot of good hot chocolate. It's a good skill to have for life. Skiing may seem intimidating, it might surprise you, and you may enjoy it as much as we do. Simon Woganot once said, "Skis are not just pieces of wood, steel, and fiberglass. They are tools for escape, a medium for personal expression, a way to challenge fears, push limits, and share incredible experiences with your friends." Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.